Hey everybody, it's been about 2 weeks. Wanted to give everybody an update on the garden. My squash are doing really good. They are just about to start firing off flowers. I say really good. Basically with my garden this year, I added a lot of compost. I added a lot of cotton burr compost, and I added too much of it to my garden bed. So it's really affected my garden's draining. It drains much too fast. I'm having to mulch absolutely everything just to keep water in it. And I think, of course, it's affected the pH and the nutrients in the soil. I don't know how everything's going to do this year. The squash seem to be doing okay. I think they're going to go ahead and flower and produce vegetables. But we'll just have to wait and see. I've definitely had more prolific years than this. The weather's been odd this spring. We'll get about a week of spring-like weather and then a cold snap. That's been going on for, well, all season so far. So we'll just have to see how the squash does. The cucumbers, you can really see, I just pretty much screwed myself with the cucumbers. There's some that are kind of starting to grow. What you're seeing spread everywhere, that's alfalfa meal. I've heard that it does really good as a top dressing. I just dumped it all over this stuff, and it looks like actually these cucumbers, they may make it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's also some squash here that have come up. Those are squash right there. I'm not really gonna worry about this end of the garden. I've put as much money and effort into it as I'm gonna do this year. But lesson learned with the compost and the soil amendments. You got to really make sure you only add what you need. Don't add too much. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. That kind of stuff. But so cucumbers may be a wash this year. I think my squash will be okay. Now the tomatoes are looking really good. The tomatoes, which I've also top dressed with the alfalfa meal, are going nuts. They all have flowers and tomatoes on them at this point. I don't know how many. This Tammy G plant, it's pretty cool. It has these huge clumps of flowers. I guess it grows these big, long, bushels of tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. In the pictures, which I thought were way too good looking to be true, they grow these really long, trails of tomatoes, and supposedly you can just cut those right off the plant and put them right on the table on the vine, like those ones in the store. But they're all really taken off. They seem to, all I did with the alfalfa meal is top dress it around the plant and water it in. I also have some compost tea that I'm brewing with alfalfa meal in it. Alfalfa meal, some worm castings, and I'll add some kelp and fish mold, some other stuff these plants really like. The garlic's looking pretty good. I've pulled up a few, and all the ones I've pulled up, none of them they've all been one huge clove of garlic. None of them have made the bushels of garlic. So I may not have planted these early enough. You have to plant them early enough to catch to catch cold. They have to be in the ground growing during the cold weather for the plant to perform the processes that it needs in order to make the one garlic clove you plant cluster into a bushel of cloves like you see in the store. If you just plant them in the spring, you'll get what you see here, or what I've gotten so far, where it's just one clove that's grown. Now, like onions, for the first part of the season, they grow green onions, and then the second part of the season, they bushel out, and for every green onion that grows, you get a layer of onion underground. That may be what's going on here. I'm not sure, so I'm just going to keep watering them, and when these tops die, I'll pull them. But until then, I'm not going to pull anymore. The watermelon I've mulched in really well, and now it finally seems to be taking off and vining. Again, with my bed, I added so much of that compost, it doesn't keep water very well, so this watermelon's finally starting to vine out. You can see there.
There'll be some flowers on there pretty soon.
Watermelon flowers, and the plant always shoots a bunch of male flowers first. Then you'll get some female flowers with the little watermelons on them. And then finally over here is more squash. We'll see. You know, I just don't know, like I said, about this bed. If those squash over there make it, I guess these over here will too. But we'll take a look at some of these other. This is a husky cherry red tomato plant, and you can't really see, but there is a lot of tomatoes in this thing, man. Tons of flowers, lots of tomatoes, and it's pretty much the same for all of the plants, even the sweet 100s here. These are the super sweet 100 plants, and even they have some tomatoes going on down there. So that's pretty much it for now. Maybe in 2 weeks these will grow another couple feet up these cages. Hope everybody's garden's doing good and everybody takes care. Thanks.